The zombie is often greatly overshadowed by the enormous success of the Mai Tai, but it is really the first exotic or tiki cocktail to reach that level of extreme popularity. It was created by Don the Beachcomber back in 1934 for a hungover customer who needed to get through a business meeting, or so they say. Don the Beachcomber's recipes were secrets, but even so, there was no shortage of imitators or people just straight up stealing his identity to open their own bars and feature their own version of the zombie. These imitators were just that, reproductions of Don the Beachcombers. Some were acceptable, some were bad, and none with any actual knowledge of what was inside the drink. The drink was also the first to have a limit of 2 per customer. This quote-unquote rule is still one you'll find at tiki and tropical bars today that serve the zombie and other potent cocktails. Some believe that it was merely a marketing tool to showcase the strength and potency of the zombie, which it was, but there are Don the Beachcomber menus that specifically state that it is Don's rule and made more of an effort to highlight this rule for the zombie cocktail than the other drinks with the 2 per customer rule. Unlike the Mai Tai, which survives the waves of tiki and the downfall of cocktails in the 70s and 80s through efforts of adaptation and survival, the zombie kind of dies. It's not prevalent during those times and would have been hard to revive since the recipe still remained unknown and a secret. That is, until a young detective by the name of Jeff Beachbum Barry releases his first book, The Grog Log, and that kind of changes everything. Over the course of the following years of research, investigation, imbibing, and more books, Barry is able to crack the code on many of the Don the Beachcomber's secrets through a few ways. First, he does the groundwork. He goes to the bars and talks to the bartenders that worked with Don. In addition, after Grog Log comes out, people start sending him information. Recipes and relatives' notebooks give him enough information to piece together many of Don's secrets, but not yet the zombie. The Beachbum's efforts to uncover the original zombie recipe are detailed in Sippin' Safari. He came across a self-published book called Barbecue Chef from 1950, where Don the Beachcomber had given the author, Louis Spivak, the authentic zombie recipe. Barry would go on to publish that recipe in his follow-up to Grog Log, Intoxica. And this is where things get a little complicated, because after Intoxica, he finds another recipe, and this one has additional ingredients like falernum, grenadine, and maraschino liqueur. So which one to make if you want to make the original, and which rum to use? Well, the rums used in those authentic zombies from the 1930s are not available today. And the idea of replicating those can send you down the rabbit hole, as many do with the Ray and Nephew 17. But none of those details really matter for what I am going to make today, because the recipe that I want to share today is not Don the Beachcomber's. As important as he was to start the exotic drink movement, no one is more important today to reviving that era, bringing it back from the dead, reanimating it, if you will, than Jeff Beachbum Barry. The tropical, tiki, exotic, and adventure bars you love today would probably not exist. The books with the recipes you make, none of them would exist. None of this happens if this one person is not in the right place, at the right time, with the right interest. So we're gonna make Beachbum's Zombie with Beachbum's Zombie Rum Blend and serve it in Beachbum's Zombie glass. For this one, you'll need Angostura bitters, Pernod, grenadine, cinnamon syrup, falernum, white grapefruit juice, lime juice, and Hamilton's Beachbum Berries Zombie Rum Blend. So what do you need to know about this rum? Well, the Hamilton-Beachbum Berries Zombie Blend was a collaboration between Ed Hamilton and Jeff the Beachbum Barry to emulate those original rums used in the zombie. While the bottle doesn't share the exact blend, we know that the original zombie blend used Puerto Rican rum, Jamaican rum, and Demerara rum. The Beachbum Zombie Blend comes in at 118 proof or 59% ABV, which allows us to use less rum but keep that intensity of flavor. Now, as the historic zombie recipes do, this one is called to build in a drink mixer tin, starting with 1 dash of Angostura bitters, 1/8 a teaspoon of Pernod, 1 teaspoon of grenadine, half an ounce of cinnamon syrup, half an ounce of falernum, half an ounce of white grapefruit juice, 3/4 ounces of lime juice, and 2 ounces of Hamilton's Beachbum Berries Zombie Rum Blend. Blend everything together at a high speed for no more than 5 seconds. Pour into the Beachbum Berry Zombie glass. Add ice to fill and garnish with mint. And there you go, Jeff Beachbum Berries Zombie. All right, let's taste it. Okay, so this is my first time making this version of the zombie. I made traditional zombies before, and I like them just fine. It's my first time using the Hamilton-Beachbum Zombie blend in a zombie. I've used it before in other things like a Mai Tai. It's just like perfectly balanced, and it is very rum forward, but it has like a good level of sweetness here. It's not sweet, but it's just like the right amount to cut through the acidity from the grapefruit juice, the lime juice, and the rum. So there's a ton going on in this drink, but everything makes sense. It all works, and I can taste everything in this drink. You get subtle hints of the Pernod, the grenadine, homemade grenadine, recipe in the description below. I can actually taste that small amount in here. The falernum also comes through. This is a recipe for falernum I'm not ready to release yet. I'm still working on it, but it is inspired by the Latitude 29 falernum, so there is no alcohol in this one. Cinnamon syrup, it's there, I can taste it. When you get that acidity from the lime juice, it's the grapefruit juice flavor that comes through. And now after a few more sips, I can taste more of the bitterness coming from the grapefruit, not just a grapefruit flavor, but you get some bitterness there, but it is pleasant. It's not overpowering. I'm very surprised how much I like this. I've always felt like the zombie is a touch overrated. I've always thought they tasted fine, but they're just such a pain in the ass to make. You need all of these different things, but the good thing is Jeff Berry did condense the rums and the recipe to something that's a little easier to get your hands on. So if you're in a market that has access to Hamilton rums, especially this one, the Zombie blend, try to get your hands on it because it does make a huge difference here. The rum with all of these ingredients come together, it makes a delicious cocktail, and I think the best version of a zombie that I have ever had. So many drinks I make here are one and done and not coming back to, but this one I will come back to. This is a great drink to get people into exotic and tiki drinks. There's such a great story behind the zombie, behind what Jeff Berry has done for, the category of exotic and tropical and tiki drinks. This is a great introduction to all of those things, and it's a cocktail that will not disappoint. That's it for this one. I'm Derek. This is Make and Drink. That's the zombie. I'm crossing that off of the big list of things to do. I was not going to make a zombie episode until later on. I just didn't feel the need to do it. There are so many different zombie videos and recipes online. But on Patreon, if you're a Patreon member, you can request a video. And Nathan requested the zombie. And there's been a couple other people on Patreon that have requested these as well. So if you're in Patreon, you can sign up and you can actually tell me what video to make. And I really appreciate it because the zombie was something I kept putting off. I really didn't want to do, but that kind of gave me the motivation to make this cocktail today. Read his books. They're not just good cocktail books, historical books. They're fun to read. He's an excellent author. And I don't know, these two books right here, Sip and Safari, Potions, I don't know which one is more important, but both super important to just gaining knowledge about tiki and tropical drinks, where they come from, the stories behind them, because that's what I care about the most, the stories behind them. But the stories do need to be backed up by a drink that tastes good, and this is a drink that tastes excellent. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a like below, consider subscribing to the channel. Otherwise, see you on the next one.